Good morning, y'all. Good morning. This is Speech and my Queen Yolanda.
Hi.
We literally just got out of bed.
I had to throw on some lipstick and
I know.
I'm like, what is happening here?
I know. So good morning, everybody. I just, I wanted to talk a little bit about this song because, this song came out WAP, W-A-P.
I'm a little nervous because I haven't heard. I've heard bits and pieces, and I would hear, a couple of lyrics here, a couple of lyrics there, and just I couldn't listen to the whole thing. So
yeah, I remember when I just told you it was out. I played a little bit of it. And you were disgusted.
I basically had to just, La, 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 la,
la, la. Right. But, and I don't blame you. I think it's good, actually. I just, I don't know. I felt like it was good to just talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
And basically, new song, Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion. And I think it came out, I want to say it came out, I don't know, a few days ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a week ago. I'm not sure. So anyway, I just wanted to look at some of the lyrics. If you could, in the meantime, pull up, just go over here. I just wanted to show this. If you could pull up, basically WAP, and just look it up on Google. I don't want to look it up on YouTube, but just Google and just see,
on Google. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever you can use.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to just look it up.
What? Video?
Yeah, no, not video. Just just say Cardi B.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there. I just wanted to see, any other information. Okay, so let me just say first of all that a lot of times when I talk about songs, it's not a lot of times, all the time. When I talk about these songs and stuff, it's not to diss the artist. I just want to be clear about that. Why would I want to diss this artist? I have never met Cardi B. From my experience, seeing her in certain interviews, she's extremely talented. She's extremely charming. She is charismatic, and she's funny. She's honest in a lot of things that I've seen, and it's endearing.
I've been very entertained by Cardi. Some of the things that she's said to people. I was very encouraged about her political side.
Yep.
And
when she was repping about politics, I'm very, very encouraged about that. She seems to be a woman that's on a journey, on a search.
And I don't knock her for her sexuality.
Of course not.
Any of that. I think,
everyone has a right to their sexuality.
Yeah, I think that it's beautiful when you own that. But I do, I take issue with some of the things. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's why I wanted you on this. I wanted us to just talk through. And so, long story short, so I want to make that clear. This is not attacks against artists and what have you. I think that music matters, representation matters, and things that are being like right now. I wanted to try to find out. If there's maybe a Wikipedia or something, we can look up how is it doing on the charts, for instance. I'm just curious how the song is doing. So maybe there's probably, you can probably just scroll down. There's probably a Wikipedia on this song. Let me see. Let's see here. Okay, anyway, let's just look at, just type in chart position. We'll see where, maybe it's not on the charts. I don't know. For instance, okay, so conservative blogs and stuff are going after it. I don't know why I need to make this clear, but I'm not in line with just accusations against people. Okay, and so what Republicans or right-wing media does against hip hop, I ignore it. To me, they're just noise. For me, as a black man and a parent, a husband, a concerned man about where our race is going and what we're doing as a people, that's where my interest gets into all of this. It has nothing to do with what conservative blogs say about hip hop and what, So that's just irrelevant to me. There's the Wikipedia. And so there are so many things going on within the Black community that I find it interesting that this is, let's see if it's on the charts or anything. It says, reception, let me see. Commercial performances. I'm trying to figure it out. If you can check that out right quick, I'd love to find out what it says.
Number 6 on global Spotify and at number 1 on the U.S. Spotify songs chart.
Okay, and what else? I'm sorry, is that it?
With over 3.75 and 2.34 million streams, respectively, becoming the first female rap collaboration to reach number 1 on the latter chart and breaking the record for the highest first day streams for a female rap song, and for an all-female collaboration in the U.S. Shortly after, WAP also reached number 1 on global Spotify, becoming the first female rap collaboration to do so.
Okay, so these are the things that I wanted to talk about. A lot of the times when I critique a song, I don't care what people talk about, the content. It becomes the content plus how influential it is on our society. That's when it, for me, becomes an issue. So it's like, if there's some song that came out and it's, you know, something that's just relegated to the strip clubs and people that go to strip clubs love it, or if it's a song that came out and it's relegated to a certain, you know, group of people in the United States that they just love it. Okay, well, fine. I don't care. It's like, well, enjoy your songs. What I do start to feel is that when it gets out and it's the number, so we said it was the number 1 song in the Spotify global charts. It was the number, I'm trying to figure out what it said about women. It said becoming the first female rap collaboration to reach number 1. Now we're talking about mainstream. Now we're talking about true representation. We're not talking about just underground sensations or, you know, niche markets or things that people like in their spare time, okay? So I say that it's as if, it's like trying to give an analogy. It's as if there was a virus that was going around, but it was only going around amongst a very small group of people in the United States, and it was only affecting an extremely small or slim slither of the country, and the news made a huge deal of it. That would be something that I think would be unnecessary. But what I feel this type of music and hip hop of this day and age is in the position of is not just a small slither and so on and so forth. And that's why I wanted to look it up. I have never looked at these charts. I didn't prepare anything, but I already knew it was a huge song just by the nature of how big the artists, both of the artists are, and what it represents for Black people, what it represents for our young girls. Now, being that big on the charts and streaming that many streams, this is not just for adults only. This is kids. This is little boys, little girls.
And that's where I take issue with the whole thing, because, you know, when these songs, just because you say, okay, this isn't for kids, it's for adults, like these songs, they permeate through everything. I mean, they reach these kids. And so when I think about the fact that there may be some 2-year-old, 3-year-old little girl or a little boy that's heard this song and then just starts singing it, and then they go to school and they're singing it around their friend, and it just grows, and this song is in their mind, it's changing their hearts, it's changing how little boys think about little girls, and little girls about changing how they think about themselves. It just really makes me feel some kind of way, and I don't like it.
It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel so sad, because we have enough uphill battles as a people right now.
Exactly.
As we speak.
Battles to fight.
Yeah.
We're out there fighting for Black Lives Matter.
We're out here fighting for sex trafficking,
Yes.
which I want to talk about in a minute because it's huge. It's bigger than we think. And go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, I just wanted to say, you know, these, you know, we're fighting for Black Lives Matter, and these little girls are feeling like they're gonna grow up feeling like, well, their bodies don't really matter. Right. You know what I mean? Like their bodies aren't really theirs, and it's just a tool, and it's a sex tool, and I just, you know.
Right, I agree, and I'll read the lyrics so people can understand. You know, people have probably heard the song. Obviously, it's a huge song. We just shown that. So, okay, brand new song, and I find it interesting, just as a caveat, that we have our first Black woman vice president nominee in a long time, probably I think 40 years or so. So that's interesting. I think it's in the same light as, you know, the Beyonce Black is King joint coming out, which was very empowering and pro-Black and so on and so forth on that level. It's right on the heels of all of these marches talking about Black Lives Matter and Breonna Taylor being murdered and just all of these various things that are happening that do literally have deep effect on people. So anyway, lyrics.
Well, I just want to say too, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if you guys don't like it, then don't listen to it. I don't listen to it.
Right. I don't either. But I think, and this is why discussions are important, because it's not a matter of just don't listen to it. I want to talk about the fact that it's the number one joint on the Spotify, came out at least as the number one song worldwide for Spotify. It's representation.
Yes.
And I always say this, and I'll say it again. If there was a large swath or balance of different subject matter that was coming out, and this just happened to be one of them, I'd have a lot less of an issue, although I still would have an issue with such an adult content matter being marketed and put out for our little kids to digest, especially in the environment and era of Black girls being the number one people that are being sucked into sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is not just a separate issue. It starts with people's viewpoint about women's value, girls, the value of girls, and these are young girls. We'll go into it if we can find the stats. So anyway, so the lyrics say, whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. And then it says, I'm going to cuss because this is what the lyrics say. Or should I not?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you'll have to look up the lyrics yourself. But basically it says, I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet, that's hard to say. So wet a,
I mean, whatever.
Okay, I'm just asking. So wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak. Okay, so I just want to say, so we as Blacks have been battling conditioning of whites against Blacks for centuries now. Some of the conditioning was that Black women are jungleistic, that Black women are hypersexual. It actually doesn't match with the actual statistics and truth about Black women, but the actual statistics and truth and studies about Black women is that they tend to be a little bit more conservative than a lot of other racial genres. So Black women tend to be conservative about when they want to have sex, what kind of sex they enjoy, stuff like this. So it's interesting, but the stereotype and the conditioning has been that Black women are wild and hypersexual, okay? Black girls too, not just women, girls as well. So it says here, I said certified freak 7 days a week. Then it just said whores in the house. I'm not going to overanalyze it. This is to me just obvious things that's going on in this song. And so it's talking about literal workers. That's what I see from it. And there's some whores in this house. So whores to me doesn't mean just a woman that enjoys having intimacy. To me, it means somebody who's working in the sex world. So certified freak 7 days a week in this sex trafficking reality. This is what's actually happening. These women and girls are being forced to have sex. Literally more like I was at a speaking engagement at Nia, I'm sorry, invited me to speak. If you remember, I went to no, it wasn't. It was Chika Akua invited me to speak at Georgia Tech or Georgia State, and he had a woman who specializes with sex trafficking, and it blew my mind. She was saying that these women are forced to perform sex 20, 30 times a day. I just want to stop right there for a second. So performing sex, for those that have had sex, it's a beautiful thing. But to have sex 2 times a day, most people don't do that. Some people do. To have sex 3 times a day, I don't know anybody that does it. But if you did, amen to you. To have sex 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 a day. Now just imagine if you did have sex twice a day, but then you had it again the next day, twice that day, twice that next day, twice that next day. My point is that we have to sort of wake up. This is not just this sex trafficking issue that is going on right under our noses in all the major cities, and it's primarily little black girls or black women too.
You know what will be said is, well, they're not talking about sex trafficking in the song. It's going to be, well, we're talking about ourselves. This is a personal message from what we think about our bodies. We're not, That's
fine. How long, and they have the right to have sex. She's married. Cardi B at least is married. I don't know if Meg Thee Stallion's married. I don't know. But they have the right to have sex as many times as they choose to. My point, though, is that this is setting up the conditioning of, I want to be a freak. It's one thing to be sensual, sexual.
Right.
But these terms, whores, freak, they have connections already. They're already owned by something. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't, anyway. So it's owned by this people that are in either sex workers or prostitutes, which sex workers, or those that are literally being trafficked throughout our nation. And so 7 days a week. And then that's not even, anyway. Then it says wet ass pussy, make that pull-out game weak. The focus on just the woman's vagina as the key to everything being great is just absolutely crazy. The fact that there's no other attributes that are being lifted up in this number one song, little kids, so on and so forth, with our existing problems that we already have as a people. This is not in a vacuum. I'm not looking at this song as just, oh, this song is so, horrible in and of a vacuum. It's not in a vacuum. There's a lot of things going on simultaneously when this is the biggest song up.
So I want to just say, okay, you were saying the part about whores in this house, whores in this house. So they're saying they're the whores in the house?
I don't know. I don't know if they're saying it. They're just saying there's some whores in the house. Okay, well, even if they're just lifting up someone over there that's whores, I just find it interesting that, okay, so we're talking about whores on the number one record, 2 black women, beautiful black women, successful black women, many, many, many black people and women especially look up to these sisters.
Yeah.
And this is the music that we choose to sort of highlight. It's the number one record, as I said. I wish there was some juxtaposing number 1 or number 2 records or something right in the top 3 that, and not just one other record that's different, but numerous other records that had different messages. I would say a lot less about this, but go ahead.
Well, the thing that I was going to say is, I've seen some, because I don't want this to feel like hate of Meg Thee Stallion and
we
Cardi
don't hate
B.
Meg Thee Stallion.
We don't. And
I don't hate Cardi B.
And I saw a video with Meg Thee Stallion, and she was talking about, just recently getting shot and losing her mom and dad, and she's
educated.
Yeah, she's a smart girl and smart woman, and I like her. I think she has a lot to offer, and whatever. But I just don't understand why, why you would make a song calling yourself a whore. Same for Cardi.
If they did, and even if they didn't, and even if just lifting up whores in this world. I mean, it's just like, okay, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
We're lifting up whores, and if we are, then that's what y'all are doing. But that's not. I just think it's really amazing that that's the number one stuff that we're pushing right now. That's the celebrated hip hop music of today. I'm just going on. So it says, sorry. No, it's fine. I never, sorry. I just find it interesting. So it's beat it up, nigga, catch a charge, extra large, extra hard. Again, just all these physical attributes, nothing about anything deeper. Put this pussy in your face, swipe it like a credit card. I want to ride, do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. I mean, look, what people do in their bedrooms is their business. I just feel like this also, more than hints, it mirrors very violent acts of sex that do happen to our girls, our women. It is happening. That's why I tried to count, like, with these sex workers, the standards that are being set, even for those that support sex workers and say, look, they need to have rights. And I'm with you on that, actually. But even if we talk about that, the treatment, the conditioning that's being put on a mainstream level, I'm not talking about underground stuff. The conditioning that's being put out there is the whole spit in my mouth and, look, do what you choose, but this is conditioning that's sort of giving a description. So if you're a little girl listening to this and you're having your first sexual experience possibly with a boy or a teen, what
you think it should be like.
Exactly. If you're idols, and then some people say, well, don't make them your idols. I agree with that. You probably know, if you know anything about me, I agree. Don't make them your idols. But we don't have choice. It's like we could also say, well, don't have racists in your country. It's a simple sentence to say, and we all agree with it. But that's not how it works. And that's not how it works with young girls and boys. You all know you idolized your music heroes. I did too. And so these young people today do. So we can't just say simple sentences and act like that's the solution. Well, we shouldn't idolize it. Well, you're right, we shouldn't. Nor should we eat fast food, but we do. Nor should we, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. So I'm just saying, okay, so these little girls are looking up and they're saying, well, okay, so spit in your face, spit in your mouth, whatever it says. And then it goes on and on and on. And so, gobble me, swallow me. So anyway, I can go on and on and on. You should check out the lyrics yourself. But anyway, what I find, I'm shaking inside because it's so real for me, this bombardment of content that's really directed towards us as a people. And I know white people buy hip hop. I'm very aware of that. And in fact, more white people than black people buy hip hop. But these are our representations in music and for ourselves. This is our mirror that we look into, the young generation in particular. And I know, and I talk about it at Nigga Factory, that this is intentional, that these are what we get fed. I challenge you guys watching right now. I want you to leave in the comments a song by a white artist that's doing as big, or even, let's say, in the top 10. Any white artist, this is a challenge. And if you win, I will give you $2.
No, we should really send them something like.
I will send them $2. I will cash app you $2. This is a guarantee. I guarantee you that I will cash app you $2, cold hard cash or digital cash. $10. She raised it to 10. So if you can find me a popular white artist that is as nasty, I'm going to call it nasty because to me it is inappropriate, nasty, and as hypersexual as this stuff, and as raw with it, not innuendos and not double meanings and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking about
But
just
straight up,
bam.
no,
This is it.
No holds barred.
I want you to show me that material because I know you won't find it. That's my challenge to you. I dare you to find it. You will not find it. So I'm talking about all the white music, country, rock, you name it, whatever, pop, you name it. Now, it can't be some underground artist that I've never heard of and nobody else heard of, because that's not the issue here.
Right.
The issue is how much of a representation it has on society. And the special nigga factor, I talk about how this has an effect on how we are perceived. It has an effect on how police officers are going to treat our young girls when they see them at a party and they and the girl has no weapon. We know she has no weapon because she has on a bathing suit, and she's 13 or 14 or 15. I'm not sure what age this young girl I remember was, but police officer has her in the ground as if she's some danger. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, kids are running all around her. What's in their mind, and I don't care about like per se what white people think about us until it comes to those that have power over us, what the judge has in his mind. There was just a recent case that I sent you, and it was a woman who was being abused by her boyfriend or husband. She went to the police station, which happened to be a courthouse as well, and she went to complain and say that she wanted something to be done. She had bruises on her arms. Long story short, they told her, and she was afraid to go back home. She had got up the nerve to get out of her house and go there and try to make a complaint. They told her she needed to come back tomorrow. The insensitivity of that was outstanding. It's a black woman. White man telling her that she had missed the time slot. Instead of putting her into some type of protective custody, they tried to just tell her to go home, back to the abuser, and come back tomorrow, as if she's guaranteed to come back tomorrow. And then a judge was presiding a case on the other side of the wall. Well, she got irate because she was scared to go home, and the judge heard all her stuff. He came out of his courtroom in the middle of a court case and forced her, grabbing her by the arm. This is a woman that's abused. Grabbing her by the arm and forced her into his courtroom, finished his present case, and then charged her with what do they call it? Discontempt?
Contempt of court.
Contempt of court. Charged a black woman who had been there to escape her abuser. Charged her with contempt of court. She, of course, contested that. And while she was contesting that, the police, 3 or 4 white men came, police officers, grabbed her, put her in a constrained wheelchair type of thing, and took her to a jail cell. This is a woman trying to get away from her abuser. My point is, all of these thoughts, what makes that happen? What makes a white security officer do that? What makes a white judge do that? It's these thoughts that are in their minds about who black women are and the level of respect they deserve, the spirit that they possess. These are the things that are running in their minds. And it causes them to act in this particular way. Yeah. It's the things that are running through a lot of white voters' minds when it's time to fight for a black issue or black humanity. It's running through their minds. Well, they like it that way. They're a little animalistic. Now, they're not going to say that in front of us, but I have a tape. Some of us have heard it. I put it on a new Arrested Development record coming out. That a white parent is talking to his white daughter, and the daughter's defending Black Lives Matter, and the parents are going in. Look at the statistics. Parents are trying to convince the daughter not to treat black people as actual humans, but instead the father called black people animals. My point is that representation, it matters.
Yeah.
It always has mattered. It never didn't matter. It's not a new thing. And everything we put out. So am I trying to police these 2 artists? No, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to say, we as a community, we are in a war. Those of you that are spiritual, you know this. The scriptures of all faiths. Christian faith is what we're from. It's a spiritual war. And when you put out a standard of what you are willing to be treated as. You are telling the world that they also can treat you accordingly.
Absolutely.
And again, I put the challenge out. So I know that people can turn the channel and all of that good stuff that people say. You will never, this is another challenge for you parents that are saying that, or people that are about to be parents or whatever. I have another challenge for you. I challenge you to be able to control all of the content of your child's life. I challenge you. We're parents. We have children. So we've been through this. We know a million other parents. And you are conceited and arrogant if you think that you, as a parent, mom and dad, can control all the content of your children that reaches their ears. I challenge you. And I know you will lose, because there is no way in this age or even in previous ages that you can control all the content. This is reaching our children. Now, I just want to say, this is not my opinion that it's reaching our children. I go to middle schools. I go to grade schools. I go often. I speak to the kids. I'm asking them, have you heard this? Have you heard that? Have you seen this? Have you seen that? What does it make you feel like? And they start speaking their piece. Some of them are saying this is an agenda to make us, to dumb us down. Others feel like these are their heroes. They love these people, these particular artists. Some feel like, well, it's just, that's what sells, you know. And so these little people or little kids and stuff, they have opinions. And we deserve better.
I just want to say to everybody, well, especially the young women or even older women that are watching this who have nobody to talk to or have questions about what we're talking about, ask it in the comments. I would love to reach out to you, to talk to you. But, you know, I mean, over the last 24 years, I've talked to many women and counseled many, many women.
No doubt about it.
And have seen and understand where that type of pain comes from. Because at the bottom line of all of this, to write a song like this, there is some pain. There's some things that you've gone through.
It's true. And
there's issues just in your childhood. I would love to talk to you, and I'd love to help you work through it so that it doesn't come out in this way, that you can really get help from it. I'm not a counselor.
Right. You're not a therapist.
I'm not yeah.
You have counseled.
I've counseled. I'm not a therapist.
Right.
But I'd love to talk to you. And, you know, we can't continue like this. It breaks my heart.
It does. And Frederick Douglass said a quote. He said, "It's easier to raise strong children than it is to repair broken men." And it applies to women too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, when you're an adult, there is a chance that you can listen to this and filter it and determine what parts of it you like and what parts you don't like. You know, who am I to judge how you listen to your music?
Yeah.
I will say, as an adult, you know, there's a scripture in the Bible, whether you're a believer in the Bible or not. I think it's a great point about scripture. I mean, a great point about life. It says, when I was a child, I did childish things, but when I grew up, I left childish things behind me. And when you grow up, you know, if this song is something you really celebrate, good for you. That's your business. But I will say, as an adult, there should just be some adult things you're dealing with as well. You know, maybe you're trying to get into a relationship that's more than just sex. Maybe you're trying to get into something that has some deeper levels of companionship and trust and maybe love, if that's what you're into, or whatever. But it's not just simple things like this, you know, spit in your mouth and, you know, your pussy's wet and all this type stuff.
It's time for us to grow, y'all.
It is.
It's time for us to grow up as a people.
As a people. And I know this is not representative of all of us.
Right.
Obviously it's not.
Right.
But
right.
when I say that it's the number one, when we looked it up right in front of you, and it's the number one record on Spotify when it came out, blah, blah, blah. We just got to start realizing that if our people and other people only have one or two examples of Black excellence or Black success or whatever you want to call it, then they will come up with perceptions, meaning our own people and other people will come up with perceptions accordingly. And I also love the genre of hip hop, and I feel like hip hop deserves better too. So anyway, this is our daughter. Love y'all. Peace and stuff.
Bye.
Hey, Princess.
Hey, Zoe.
Hey, Dad.